Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's so nice to see so many people here, especially so many young people. We're delighted to have you. My name is Doug Scott. I'm the music director here at Grovefield Presbyterian, and we are delighted to host this Island Ecumenical Concert. We put on a program every month or two, and we're really excited about this one. Just real quick, how many people heard about this through word of mouth from a friend? Okay, how about through social media, Facebook? Right, how about an announcement in church? Oh, great. We need to keep doing all of those things. Our next ecumenical concert is on Palm Sunday at 3 p.m. at St. James. The ecumenical choir will be singing a new requiem by Dan Locklear. Just a gorgeous work. We'll be doing it with organ and strings and soloists. And so if you are around on Palm Sunday, 3 p.m., please come to St. James for that concert. The Lions were originally planning to have their game at 3 o'clock today, but they heard about this concert and said, we're going to wait till 6:30. So I thank you so much for being here. If any of the kids want to sit up on the floor and get closer to the instruments, you're more than welcome, but if you're comfortable where you're at, that's fine too. We'd like to thank Lee Eichelhart and Shannon Genter for helping set up our fellowship hall in such a festive manner. And we especially want to thank the sponsors for this concert, John and Nancy Kalina. You're invited to stick around after for some cookies, and if you want to help us make future concerts possible, we're already starting to think about our next children's concert. We gratefully accept any donations you care to make. Music usually tells stories that we make up as we hear the music. But today we have something a little different going on. We're going to be told stories both in words and in music. Of course, Peter and the Wolf is one of the classics in that genre. And originally, Carl Breakentine was going to narrate Peter and the Wolf, but he is unfortunately under the weather. But we are in great luck because Krista Schaefer has agreed to narrate both, and you're in for a real treat. So without further ado, the Grovefield Quintet and Krista Schaefer.
Toad came walking by. home, he planted the flower seeds. Now seeds, said Toad, start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head closely to the ground and said loudly, "Now seeds start growing." Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now seeds start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What is all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You are shouting too much," said Frog. "These poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them, let the rain fall, and soon your seeds will start to grow." That night, Toad looked out his window. "Drat," said Toad. "My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read a long story to his seeds. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. "What shall I do?" cried Toad. "These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world." Then Toad we're going to read Peter and the Wolf. Each character in this story is represented by a different instrument. So the bird is played by the flute. The duck is played by the oboe. The cat is played by the clarinet. Peter's grandfather is played by the bassoon. And the mean, vicious, ugly, hungry wolf is played by the French horn. This is the story of Peter and the wolf. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and walked out into the big green meadow. In a tall tree sat Peter's friend, a little bird. Everything is calm and quiet, the bird chirped merrily. Waddling behind Peter came a duck. The duck was delighted that Peter had not closed the gate, and she decided to go for a swim in the pond in the meadow. And what kind of a bird are you if you can't swim? The duck answered, and she plopped into the pond. They argued for a long time, the duck swimming around the pond and the little bird hopping along the bank. Peter suddenly noticed a cat stealing through the grass. The cat thought, that bird is busy arguing, and now is my chance to catch it. And silently, on velvet paws, the cat crept towards the bird. Look out! Peter called out just in time, and the little bird quickly fluttered up into the tree, and the duck quacked at the cat angrily from the middle of the pond. The cat paced around the tree. Is it worth climbing up that high? He thought. By the time I get up there, the little bird will have flown away. Peter's grandfather came out of the house. He was angry because Peter had gone past the gate into the meadow. There were dangerous places out there. What if a wolf should come out of the woods? Peter paid no attention to what his grandfather said. Brave boys like Peter were not afraid of wolves. Nevertheless, his grandfather took Peter's hand, led him back home, and closed the gate firmly. closed gate had seen everything that had happened, but he wasn't at all frightened. He ran home, found a heavy rope, and then climbed up on the high stone wall. Peter made a loop at the end of the rope, lowered it slowly, caught the wolf's tail in it, and pulled tight. The wolf knew he was caught, and in his rage he jumped about trying to free himself. But Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree, and the more the wolf jumped, the tighter he pulled the rope around his own tail. Just at that moment, some hunters came out of the woods. They had been tracking the wolf and were firing their rifles. And so, the little bird was dancing all around and flying above his head and almost touched the head of the wolf to distract him. Jumped ahead somehow in this book and we're lost and it is I apologize. I'm trying to figure out where are we? It's a little different, the book and the music, and somehow we got off track. What number are we at? 21. Oh boy, I must have skipped a page. Now we are at Peter making the lasso with the rope and letting it down, and he slips it over the wolf's tail, and he pulls it tight. Page I missed, I'm sorry. The wolf knew he was caught, here we are, and in his rage he jumped around trying to free himself. But Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree, and the more the wolf jumped, the tighter he pulled the rope around his own tail. moment where the hunters came out of the woods and they'd been tracking the wolf and firing their rifles. Peter called to them from the tree, "Don't shoot! The little bird and I have already caught the wolf. Help us take him away to the zoo." And so they did. Just imagine the triumphant procession. Peter walking in front. Behind him came the hunters leading the wolf. Peter's grandfather and the cat came last. Grandfather shook his head with displeasure. What if Peter had not caught the wolf? He said. What then? And above them flew the little bird chirping, "Hurrah for Peter and me! Just see what we have caught." live. Let me turn this off before I pass it to you. This is going to be loud.
Hi, well, thank you everyone for coming today, especially people who haven't been to too many concerts yet before. And I wanted to thank all the grown-ups that helped make that possible. We really appreciate your efforts too, especially since today is such a busy day for lots of people. Anyway, we thought we would finish up with one more little tune that some people might know from the video games. We'll see.
Well, feel free to, another question, okay.
Did anyone start on guitar?
No, but I play a little bit of guitar.
I started on piano. Did anybody play
feel free to stick around. I'm sure the quintet would love to answer any questions. We have to show you their instruments. And back there we've got some cookies and punch. And again, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this afternoon. And let's have another round of applause for the Grosse Ile Quintet and Chris.